So in this video, we're going to go through our Form 4 Chapter 9.1 Bio AMALI, Kehadiran Amilase pada Pencernaan Kanji. So first, of course, we got to know lah, amylase is the enzyme that mencernakan kanji into maltosa. Now, in the end of the experiment, how am I going to know whether the kanji already become maltosa? Now, there's two tests, two ujian that we can do. One is Iodin, one is Benedict. So I got prepared both of these experiments in this PDF file, which you can download in the link in the description below. Completely free. Go and do it and read yourself. But sometimes, right, they could ask together iodine and Benedict in one experiment, but I don't think they will ask that because it's quite time consuming. So they will most likely ask either iodine or Benedict. First, you got to know, right, iodine is menguji kehadiran kanji. So if got amylase, kanji dicernakan kepada maltosa. But if there's no amylase, kanji won't be digested. Kanji tidak dicernakan. So if kanji tidak dicernakan, kanji is present. So therefore, iodine from kuning menjadi biru tua. That's the iodine punya test. Iodine is initially yellow color one. You can write kuning keperangan or just write kuning also can. I prefer kuning lah, shorter and easier. Now, if they use ujian Benedict, right, remember, ujian Benedict is to mengkaji kehadiran gula penurun, which maltosa is a type of gula penurun. So gula penurun actually got 5. So remember all your monosaccharida, the girlfriend gay, glucose, fructose, galactosa, and also 2 of your disaccharida, maltosa and lactosa. So if maltosa hadir, ujian Benedict were from biru menjadi mendakan merah bata. We learned this in Form 4 Chapter 4.1. Okay, now that you know iodine and Benedict, test how does it work already. Okay, let's go through the experiment. Now, first, go through the list of bahan and radas first. Because by reading this, right, let's say if it's unguided, no procedure one, you will know what test they want you to do. Because here they will give you iodine or Benedict, or maybe even both, which I don't think both, they will ask both lah. Okay, then read the question. Please read the question. Look out for this sentence. They always say, untuk mengkaji, untuk menentukan. So mengkaji what, menentu what. So here they say mengkaji kesan kehadiran amylase ke atas kadar pencernaan kanji. Now this is the tujuan, the aim of the experiment. Why tujuan very important? Because if you don't know tujuan, you don't know what you're doing. And then if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know the Pemboleh Ubah. Then you don't know what is going on at all. So from the tujuan experiment, right, you will get your Pemboleh Ubah dimanipulasi and bergerak balas. So this is the Pemboleh Ubah dimanipulasi. That's what PUD lah. So you know test whether got amylase or not will affect the Pencernaan Kanji. So this is your Pemboleh Ubah bergerak balas. But later in question that time, right, you cannot write this as your Pemboleh Ubah bergerak balas, because when you do questions that time, right, the bergerak balas, you must write experiment punya bergerak balas, which is a bit different, which I'll show you later, don't worry. Okay, so it's that simple. So procedure later I'll teach you, if it's unguided, how to write. Okay, we go through this one first. How do you do the experiment briefly? Overview lah. So there are 2 tabung uji here. One is kanji with amylase. One is kanji with air suling. So this is your Pemboleh Ubah dimanipulasi. One use amylase, one use air suling. And then you put it inside kukus air 37 degrees Celsius. So when you put it inside, so the one with amylase, right, akan mencerna kanji kepada maltosa. The one no amylase, dia tidak akan mencernakan kanji. Then after 10 minutes, you will do your ujian iodine or Benedict, which later I'll explain. Now let's go through the Pemboleh Ubah first. You need to know the Pemboleh Ubah, then only you understand the whole thing. And then also, right, Pemboleh Ubah very important for procedure. So I explain this first before we do procedure. So nyatakan Pemboleh Ubah dan cara untuk mengendalikan Pemboleh Ubah. How to handle, how to control the Pemboleh Ubah. Now this one, you need to know how to write if there's procedure. That's how you score marks for procedure. But sometimes you just ask the question like that. Right, bergerak balas, then cara mengendalikan. Right, the dimanakan, then cara mengendalikan. So dimanipulasi, we know already. Got amylase or not? So cara mengendalikan, very easy. You just mention what is the dimanipulasi that I use. So I use amylase and air suling. So gunakan larutan berbeza, iaitu amylase dan air suling. So later you just have to write these 2 in your procedure. You get marks for this already. Now, bergerak balas, just now we say it's Pencernaan Kanji. But in the end of the experiment, how do we know kanji mencerna already? It's by memerhatikan the warna of the iodine all the Benedict the perubahan warna So that is your bergerak balas. That's how you know kanji got digested already, which is look at the perubahan warna campuran. Whether is it iodine or Benedict punya ujian, same answer, you're right. So when you write procedure, remember to write this: memerhati dan merekod perubahan warna dalam tabung uji X and Y. And then dimalakan constant, right, is your kukus air. Suhu kukus air, when am I saying suhu? I must write suhu, of course, which must tetapkan pada 37 darjah Celsius. So when you write your procedure that time, the nilai of the Pemboleh ubah dimalakan, which is your suhu, must write 37. You write 37, you got marks for this already, right? So why must 37? Because 37 is the suhu optimum for enzyme lah. Understand? Okay. Settle already, then right, procedure. Procedure is 4 marks. I forgot to mention here. How to get the 4 marks? 3 of it will come from the cara mengendalikan Pemboleh ubah, like I just told you just now. And 1 more is langkah berjaga-jaga, means how to improve the ketepatan, the accuracy of this experiment. So you write these 4, right? Then you get 4 marks already. But of course, you cannot just write these 4. You must write the other steps also. Okay, you must complete the whole thing. So the first one, first I add kanji 1 per ml, 1% kanji ke dalam setiap tabung uji X and Y. Then I put 2 ml 1% larutan amylase ke tabung uji X and air suling 2 ml air suling ke tabung uji Y. So I told you already, for dimanipulasi, if I mention what is the dimanipulasi, amylase and air suling, I'll get marks for this already. So I got 1 mark already. Then, kacau the campuran using your rod kaca. So kacaukan the campuran is a langkah berjaga-jaga. So masih kacau campuran sehingga sebati. Why this is a langkah berjaga-jaga? Because if I don't kacau it, right, the amylase and the kanji, right, never mix properly, means the amylase might not react with the kanji properly. Okay, then I take these 2 tabung uji, rendam ke dalam kukus air bersuhu 37 darjah Celsius. Now this is your dimalakan. You just mention 37, you get 1 mark. So just mention the nilai of the dimalakan. Then after 10 minutes, so if it's guided got procedure, right, you see how much they give you lah. So here, if it's unguided, we set 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, tambah 3 titis iodine into each. Then you have your color change already. So memerhati dan merekod perubahan warna campuran is your bergerak balas. So bergerak balas is always at the end one, because your result is always at the end of the experiment. So you memerhati at the end. So bergerak balas always last sentence. So and always remember to write this: memerhati, merekod. Okay. If it's Benedict, a bit mafan, a bit more steps. After 10 minutes already, right, you cannot straight away put the larutan Benedict. Okay, like I say here, you kena keluarkan 2 ml from each tabung uji, put in another tabung uji. Then only you put the 3 titis larutan Benedict. Then you need to didihkan this kukus air, because Benedict, right, need high temperature, hot temperature, then only can function. Okay, that's why you need to here keluarkan already, tambah the Benedict, then panaskan the tabung uji dalam kukus air mendidih selama 1 minit. Because got heat, then only the Benedict can react. Then last one, same, memerhati, merekod perubahan warna. So you can see here, I got prepare one example already, the Pemboleh ubah sip. Now, then, next thing is, okay, this one very important, your Pemerhatian and Inferens. So sometimes they might ask you to draw this table by yourself. Sometimes you already prepared, then you just need to write the perubahan warna. So just now we already said, tabung uji X is kanji and amylase, Y is kanji, air suling. So obviously for X, amylase akan mencernakan kanji kepada maltosa. This one got no pencernaan. So I put iodine into X. Iodine is yellow at the beginning. So the yellow color now will kekal kuning sebab tak ada kanji sudah. Iodine is mengesan kehadiran kanji mah. So that's why kuning punya iodine sekarang masih kuning. But for the other one, kanji tidak dicernakan. So kanji masih ada mah. So when I put iodine, iodine react with kanji will form larutan biru tu, dark blue. That's how you test it. Then inference means you got to explain your pemerhatian. Why like this? Why we have this result? You got to explain, no? Why this one kekal kuning? Sebab kanji telah dicernakan kepada maltosa. No more kanji already. So I give you another point here. That's why campuran tidak mengandungkan kanji. But you say this one actually is enough already. Then the other one, opposite. This one kanji tidak dicernakan. So that's why now you still ada itu kanji. That's why got larutan biru tu. So for Benedict one, just the color different only. So for this one, yang ada pencernaan kanji kepada maltosa one, when you put the Benedict apabila ada maltosa hadir, mendakan merah bata terbentuk. This one, kanji tidak dicernakan kepada maltosa, tiada gula penurun, Benedict kekal biru. And then, inference same, explain. So, same one. Kanji already become maltosa. That's why got maltosa, ada gula penurun. Gula penurun is what is tested by the Benedict. So, you can write these two lor. And then the other one, kanji tidak dicernakan. So, no gula penurun. That's why Benedict kekal biru. Understand? Then, next one is hypothesis. Now, most experiment hypothesis, you always write like that one. Semakin. The higher the dimanipulasi, higher the bergerka balas, yue. But this experiment, we cannot do that. Because when your Pemboleh ubah dimanipulasi is not a number, dia bukan nilai. Cannot count 1, 2, 3, 1.2, 1.4. Don't have cm, ml, mole concentration. You cannot use this. Because takkan you say, semakin tinggi amilase, semakin tinggi perubahan warna. It doesn't make sense. So for this kind of question, right, hypothesis, you need to go back to your tujuan, answer this tujuan. So they say kehadiran amilase . So you just say hypothesis ialah apabila amilase hadir, kanji dicernakan kepada maltosa. Or you write terbalik also can, apabila amilase tidak hadir, kanji tidak dicernakan kepada maltosa also can. So that's how you answer this hypothesis. Okay, so you must also include the dimanipulasi yang bergerak balas tadi. Amilase hadir, sorry here a bit typo. Kanji dicernakan kepada maltosa. Okay, then next one more or less the same thing already we done. Bagaimana keputusan eksperimen ini menunjukkan pencernaan kanji telah berlaku? So how do you know kanji telah dicernakan? So based on your result dia kekal kuning. Why dia kekal kuning? Sebab tiada kanji already. Iodin tidak mengesan kehadiran kanji. That's why dia kekal kuning, tidak berubah warna. So campuran kekal kuning kerana kanji telah dicerna kepada maltosa. Okay, if it's Benedict one, you just say the campuran会membentuk, sorry I mix Chinese, membentuk mendakan merah bata. And then lastly here got 2 KBAT question. Now, you might want to listen to this, quite important. Seorang murid menjalankan eksperimen yang sama dengan menggunakan larutan enzim amilase terdidik. Boil punya amilase. Now, this could be a different possible dimanipulasi. They could ask you a different experiment. Means, instead of kehadiran amilase, they could ask you, right, the dimanipulasi is suhu kukus air. So, just like this one, maybe one, they give you 37. One, they ask you to put inside 100 degrees punya water or 80 degrees. And then both also is amylase. But if you put in 100 darjah Celsius or 80 darjah Celsius punya air, right, just like air suling like that, they won't be pencernaan sebab enzim ternia hasli. You must say these are enzyme gone already. So your result will be the same when you use your iodine. This one kekal kuning, this one menjadi biru tua. Because 100 darjah Celsius also cannot mencernakan the kanji. But then your pemboleh ubah different already . If let's say your experiment is use suhu, right? Then you must use suhu yang berbeza. So there is suhu kukus air already. Okay, this one you must say suhu kukus air . Then your pemboleh ubah cannot be suhu kukus air again. Pemboleh ubah dimalakan, sorry. So your pemboleh ubah dimalakan must be use same kepekatan kanji or same kepekatan amylase. Then these two will be your dimalakan. Okay, but this one now they just say if jika ask you to predict ramalkan if I use enzyme amylase terdidik. So of course now my kanji tidak dicernakan, so kanji kekal . So when I put iodine, the iodine also kekal So when I put iodine at them, the iodine will turn into warna biru sebab kanji hadir. If it's Benedict one, then mendakan merah bata loh. Then the explanation I already say, because enzyme amylase ternya hasli. No enzyme, tiada pencernaan kanji. Kanji tidak dicernakan kepada maltosa. And here, this question I took from a buku rujukan reference book lah. It's about your digestion pencernaan one. So here, seorang wanita mengambil buah mangga muda and then memakan nasi sebelum memakan nasi. Memakan hydrolysis kanji dalam duodenum. Okay, first you need to know, duodenum, dia punya pH optimum is alkaline. Okay, but mangga muda is sour one, is acid. So, the amylase inside your duodenum, right, supposed to have alkali baru dia boleh berfungsi. If you eat too much sour food, right, the acid will affect the alkaline medium dalam duodenum. So the enzyme amylase tidak berfungsi dengan kesan. So pencernaan kanji kurang loh. Why? You use the pH to explain loh. Sebab, as I say already, amylase dalam your duodenum bertindak pada medium alkali. They need alkali to function. If you eat acid food, right, the acid cause your duodenum to become acid. So mangga muda yang beracid menurunkan kealkilan duodenum. So kadar amylase dikurangkan dong, means the amylase cannot function very well already. So this one very easy lah. So hopefully this video help you on your AMALI. Hopefully you come out almost exactly the same. If you got any questions, please ask down the wrong comment. I see you guys real soon. Bye bye.